Hey, this is Malika of Evanston Live TV, and we are back with us for another episode of Nabors Speak, Reverend Dr. Michael Nabors. And today we are talking about balance and peace. And Lord knows we need that right now. I don't even know what balance looks like right now
Yeah,
during this time
yeah,
period. What
yes.
what is it? What is balance even? I feel like we're all kind of floating, trying to grab hold, get a grip on something.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, break that down to us,
Yeah,
Pastor. Balance and peace.
yeah. Well, Malika, I'm with you. I think that it does feel like we're floating. I think that I have had several people who have shared with me, they feel like they are in a dream and can't wake up.
Mm,
And some describe it also as a potential nightmare that they are in. And for me, it is as if we are in the midst of a novel by a great author, like it's a mysterious novel, and we don't know exactly what the outcome is going to be. Or it's like we're a part of this graphic portrait that has been designed by one of the world's talented artists. You know, everything is happening around us.
mm,
And I think the balance, Malika, has to do with a sort of internal resolve. So it's like we are, I don't want to say we're on shaky ground, but everything is out of the norm. And I was thinking about this earlier today when I was drinking coffee and looking outside my window. The world looks different. It does. It's quieter. It's much more silent. There's hardly anybody passing by now. I'm not on a busy street, but we normally have a ton of folks coming by. So there's hardly any traffic. The people who are walking, half of them have masks on. And so you can respond to this different reality in two ways. One way is allowing it to become a burden,
mm,
and it can stress you out. And you can say to yourself, Lord, you know, what is happening and what's going to happen to the people that I love? What's going to happen to my family? And what's going to happen to me? Another way of looking at it, and I think the way that produces a chance for us to find balance and peace, is to say, I can't do anything about what is happening in the world. I can't do anything about the fact that I wake up today and find that there are now over 1 million people infected in our own country and over 3 million in the world. There are over 60,000 people who have died in the United States. And as my daughter said, one of her professors shared that, you know, by the time this is all over, just about every single person in America will know somebody that has passed away, that has died. And so you can't do anything about that. It's happening. It's in the hands of our professionals. We have to make sure that our professionals are doing what they're supposed to do. We can be critics. We can voice our opinion and all of that. But at the same time, the way you find balance is looking on the inside.
mm,
What you can do is you can try to control your own emotions. You can try to control your own thoughts. For people of faith like me, that happens through prayer. That happens through inviting the presence of God to come and to order my steps according to his word, but to also have this sense and this firm conviction and belief that God did not bring us this far to leave us. You know, that's a part of the idiom of the Black church, right? We've been saying that ever since there's been a Black church. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me.
right.
Well, now it's time to really believe that. And that's the first step in finding balance, to find that sense of peace on the inside, relying on a power that's greater than your own, and then acting like it. See, because this thing is so new and it's so radical and it's making so many people uncomfortable. We can go to the extreme, and the extreme is not having any peace or balance. Living in a household where there are other people and you're always on top of each other. You're fussing and feuding and fighting. And God knows I was on a conference call where abuse is rising now.
Mm,
You know, spousal abuse and child abuse is rising because people are not in the habit of being around each other so much. So they don't have any peace. They don't have internal peace. You have to be able to find that now more than ever. we ought to be chilling, man. Those of us who are at home, we ought to be learning more about each other. We ought to be more grateful for each other, as well. And we can't allow ourselves to look at the bad side all the time. We've got to look at the bright side. I'm not looking at the faults of the folks that I love. I'm looking at all of these amazing things that I didn't know about them before. My 10-year-old is as crazy as a bed bug. She is so silly. She keeps us all in stitches. She's hilarious. I knew she was funny, but I didn't know how funny she was until I was like, okay, my God, I gotta stop laughing. And to me, that's like a gift. My son Pierce, who just turned 16, he's this introspective, reflective kind of guy. He doesn't speak very much, but I understand now, he takes in everything. He knows everything that's going on. And kids probably know more than what's going on than we do. Mm-hmm. And so we have to look at each other, learn from each other, and don't allow this coronavirus to end up being a burden to take away your joy. Don't let anybody take it away.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I like that, Pastor. And yeah, you have to find the peace. You have to find the peace within. There are some very unhappy households right now.
There are indeed.
Getting to know each other, whereas before everybody had their own activities, and people are realizing they were only really spending a few hours out of each day with each other.
Right.
Like, people only spent a couple hours with their kids, and then it's time for dinner and bed. And now all day.
Yeah. Hey, Malika, we used to be ships passing in the dark, right?
Right.
In the night. Right. Now we are both at the port, right beside each other, and we haven't gone anywhere. So, that's a classic example. I love the way that you put that, and I think, though, that is not a bad thing. I think that is a thing that we have to deal with. And what it reminds us of is that, we were so busy. Mm-hmm. Life has moved in such a way, and especially in our society in America, that's all I can say, in the United States, we were so busy that we hardly had time for each other, just meeting each other, just fly by night. We greet each other in the morning, and then we say good night to each other during the day. The kids are gone all day. You come home from work. There's about an hour for you to see each other and talk. Then they're off to their homework. You're off to something. But now it is hour after hour after hour. And if we can take any positive from this reality that we're in, is that we ought to begin to know more about each other and to appreciate each other. And we can't allow ourselves to be fault finding in this day and age. You can't look at all of the faults of everybody. I had somebody who sent me a chart. It was really funny as a former member, but about what a husband is supposed to say, during this time period. It's not supposed to say, you're not supposed to say, why are you wearing that again? You're supposed to say, oh, that robe looks really nice. Right? That's the second choice. That robe looks really nice. And then you know what the third choice was. Would you like a glass of wine? So the right choice was always, would you like a glass of wine? Calm down, chill out. Everything is going to be okay. And again, to me, finding balance and peace is being able to find a sense of humor in everything that we are experiencing, because it's not humorous. It is a painful, sordid reality that we are being affected by. And that is true for everybody in the world. It's true for our whole country. And you and I know it's particularly true for marginal people and for Black people. We are being hit by COVID-19 in ways that are 3 times more painful and difficult than other demographics, maybe with the exception of our Latin brothers and sisters and Native Americans. But we're being hit by that and affected by that. So for me, especially as a pastor, my hope is that the people that I serve, the faith community that I serve, are continuing to be in touch with one another, number one, whether that's through telephones or social social media platforms. Number two, that they're continuing to have faith in God. You know, the Bible says that we are not as they who have no hope. We have hope and belief that this is not the end. See, the reality is that we are experiencing coronavirus, but the coronavirus is not in us, right? Even if you have it, you know, even if you have it, what I'm saying by it's not in us, it must not, you must not allow it to direct your thoughts and to direct your life. That we are greater than this thing that we're facing. There have been other pandemics. There have been people who have died from hunger. We have the bubonic plague. We have the Spanish influenza. You know, we have people who have died from wars, you know, in years past. All of that, we can see that people were able to make it through the other side. So even though we have a bumbling idiot, even though we have a bozo, even though we have somebody that is as ill-equipped and inefficient to run a nation as anybody that has ever lived, who's doing this, guess what? He's not in charge. God is in charge. Donald Trump is not in charge. God is in charge. And I think we have to remind ourselves of that, and then at the same time be critical of what he's doing so that our voice is being shared. But don't allow that critique to overburden you. I can't spend every hour worrying about Donald Trump. No. Yeah, I'm mad at him. I can't wait for him to be out of office. But guess what? Most of my time now is spent trying to love on my family, try to love on my church family, trying to love on my community. Because more than ever, we need love. We need love desperately. Remember that song by Stevie Wonder, Love's in Need of Love Today?
Sing it.
Love's in need of love today. Don't delay, send yours in right away. Right? You know, it's a beautiful song. You know, it was on his Songs in the Key of Life album, you know, that the most genius album that was ever made. Obviously, I think we all agree with that. But the power of that song is that God is with us. That as long as we rely on love, we're going to.
That's right. Whenever you're stepping into the unknown, and we are definitely, we have stepped into the unknown. It's your faith that gets you through that unknown.
It is.
Always.
Yeah.
And we are definitely in some uncertainty, but God is going to see us through it. He's going to see us through it. And I think he's exposing some things. It's going to be like a breakdown of what we thought was solid ground. So he's breaking the ground to build new ground. So I truly believe the whole Republican Trump administration, he's breaking it down so that it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, I think, again, that's a brilliant way of describing what we're facing. If this COVID-19 had not come on as strongly as possible, we would not have known about the massive deficiencies that exist in the people that are running this country. Can you believe that Mike Pence actually went to the Mayo Clinic and decided that he would not wear a mask? And now he's claiming that they did not share with him that he was supposed to wear a mask. Well, I'm like, that's bozo number 2. You saw everybody at the Mayo Clinic wearing a mask. What makes you so special and different that you're not wearing one? And to me, I think that's a sign that we have a vice president that does not believe in science and does not believe in medicine in the way that it's been informed by science. And that is a danger. It is not only a danger to himself, but it's a danger to everybody else. And his wife comes out and says, well, he wasn't worried about it because he doesn't have COVID-19. Well, that's a sure way of getting it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let me also say, Malika, that one of the things that can help us all to find balance and peace during this time also is to take a moment and list out all of the people that you appreciate and that you're grateful for. I think those lists are very important. You know, a couple of weeks ago, I asked members of the church to write me a letter, you know, those who were isolated. It was at the end of one of our services. And I've had nearly 40 letters that folks have written, and they are absolutely astounding and beautiful. and speak to the power of the human spirit. That while people are afraid, some of our seniors who are living alone, they are not allowing that fear to determine their lives. They're grateful for the people in their lives. They're grateful for folks like you and I who are calling on them and seeing how they're doing. They're grateful for Jennifer's edibles, making sure that some of them are getting food, every single day. They're grateful to the city of Evanston and the box foods that are going out once a week. They're grateful to Clarence and Wendy Weaver for the work that they're doing. So we are the sort of the spotlight in a lot of people's lives for being able to hang on, and they're grateful for other people in their community, not just their family. And to me, that gives me energy to get up every single day. It gives me energy. It does. Gives me focus to go right into my study, to work on my sermon for Sunday, because I know that people, even though I won't be able to see them, I know they're listening, and they're listening for a word.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. We need prayer, finding the peace and strength within ourselves, and then it definitely helps to listen to a pastor Nabors, or turn to someone who can process all of this on the spiritual plane to help us, give us new information to get through. So we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank
So
you,
much.
Malika. And I very much feel like I'm here on behalf of, all the clergy in town. I'm grateful for what everybody is doing. I'm grateful to Pastor Martha Holmes from Bethany, who made thousands of hand sanitizers available. I'm grateful to Pastor Zali Webb and Pastor Clifford Wilson, who made the mask available that were donated by Willie Wilson and the city of Evanston. I'm grateful to Pastor Monty Dillard and Pastor Henderson and Pastor Scott, all of them amazing African-American pastors in the city of Evanston who have come together to do everything we can to bring that balance and peace that you're talking about into the lives of other people. I'm grateful. I'm happy to be in the number, sister. Happy.
Well, we thank you, Pastor Nabors, and we
Thank
look
you.
forward to next Thursday.
Okay.
Another message to, feed our souls, to get us through, another tool we can use to get through the week. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Malika. Bless you. You take care and stay young.
I intend to. Definitely.
Yes. Okay. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, you all. This has been Malika, Evanston Live TV. We just had another episode of Nabors Speak with Reverend Dr. Michael Nabors. He always gives a nice spiritual perspective on things. He provides those tools to get you through the weeks, new tools to add to the toolbox to help get you through. So we appreciate him. Thank you so much, Pastor Nabors, and to everyone out there that he mentioned, all the pastors right here in Evanston that have been donating and providing a word to help people get through. Thank you so much for all that you do. And of course, to, Jennifer's Edibles and CMW Market and Evanston Community Foundation. So many people just doing amazing things. I just spoke to Lynn yesterday that's been helping our small business owners, helping to keep them alive and surviving before COVID-19, during COVID-19, and they have plans for after COVID-19. So it's awesome. It's just been beautiful. And speaking with Mayor Haggerty, and they're working on a recovery plan, and our governor J.B. Pritzker, who lets Trump know how he feels, and he's been fighting for all of us here in Illinois. And gosh, I believe this COVID-19 has really exposed not only the evil and the bad and the demonic, but it's been a breakdown of a system that needed to be exposed, and it's really exposing who the good are, who's really being there for the community, and it's showing, our strength in ourselves to get through this. And,